Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Boyertown Area Senior High School, where after a big shocker, John, a snow delay yesterday.
No.
Yeah, we didn't have school yesterday for snow. So the game last night was canceled, so we're coming at you tonight where the Boyertown Bears will host Springford. And, John, these two teams played on Saturday over on Springford's gym, and it was a great ball game. Boyertown ended up pulling away at the end, but very competitive game. You know, you and I have talked a lot about the fact that that's really all we want to see is competitive contest here. And we should see that tonight.
You know, and usually your games between Boyertown and Springford are very competitive, just because of the rivalry between the two programs. And then usually, unfortunately for the Bears, over the past couple of years, it's been Springford getting the better of the Bears. Springford is one of the traditional, I would say, pack powers. They're perennial league contenders. And this year, Boyertown has the players, they have the size, they have the speed to match up with this very, very good and very, very well-coached Springford team. So I would expect another close game today. I would expect the tempo to be a bit slower. Springford's always very good at making the tempo what they want it to be, whether it's speed up and down the floor or slowing it down and methodically running through their offense and making teams do that against them defensively. So I would expect another close game here tonight and hopefully another chance for the Bears to pull one out late.
All right, John, let's dispense with the basketball talk. I have big news for you tonight.
Ooh.
My pregame snack on the way in. Had to leave a little early, ran a couple errands, and had enough time to stop for the new burger at Wawa.
We have been talking about this, and your thoughts are?
Well, John, it's interesting because are we going to classify this as a fast food burger? You know, that's really where it becomes difficult.
Well, we're not classifying it as a gourmet burger.
No, we're certainly not. And that's exactly the thought that I had coming into this because I've had some great burgers. You want a good burger, you go to Monk's in the city. That's a phenomenal burger. But if I'm pairing this up against like a Burger King or a McDonald's, it was a good burger. I was very happy with it.
So we're going to say Wawa is in the discussion with the Burger Kings. I shouldn't. There's Burger King. I'm saying the burger royalty, I'll say, of this country. You're putting Wawa up there.
Yeah, John, it wasn't greasy. It had flavor to it. It was probably a quarter pounder, a little bit more than a quarter pounder. A lot of beef to it. And I specifically went ketchup, onion, pickle, just so I could have the burger flavor. I didn't overload condiments.
It's a solid ring of condiments there. Usually Wawa's dangerous for me because I'll order the food, then walk around and pick up an Entenmann's, a bag of chips, a milkshake, whatever they got. So good for you to just get a burger and that's it.
The French fries, on the other hand, John, that's another story. There was some disappointment with the French fries. We'll get to that French fry discussion in just a minute. They say anthem and lineups, John.
Lineups first.
We're going to do the starting lineups for you. Then we'll be at you with the national anthem and the tip.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to tonight's pack matchup between the visiting Rams from Springford and your Boyertown Bears. Tonight's game being played under the rules and regulations set forth by the pack and the PIAA District 1. First, for Springford, a senior, number 3, Zach Stryker. A junior, number 14, Cole Turner. Sophomore, number 20, Alex Lewis. Senior, number 21, Nate Santiago. And junior, number 34, Gavin Schauer. The Rams are coached by Chris Talley. And now for your Boyertown Bears. Starting at guard, a senior number 5, Eric Salata. Senior number 22, Trey DeGuglielmo. Senior number 23, David Lay. Senior
number 32, Christian Renninger. And senior, number 40, Chris Kiefer. The Bears are coached by Mike Ludwig. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you all rise and remove your hats as we honor the flag and our country with the playing of our national anthem.
All right, as we get ready for tip here, now that we've been doing starting lineups, I'm assuming everybody can hear it. But if not, Springford's putting out Zach Scrocky, Cole Turner, Alex Lewis, Nate Santiago, and Gavin Schauder. And Boyertown's going with their usual Salata, DeGuglielmo, Lay, Reniger, and Kiefer. Varied lineup for Springford. They got some sophomores, some juniors, some seniors. Boyertown definitely senior heavy. We'll see how we can do in this ball game tonight. Again, competitive last week, a few days ago on Saturday. See how we do. Boyertown comes out in their man-to-man. And we have an early foul.
Oh, that is not a good sign right there. When that sort of a foul is called right away, that's the referees right there making a statement saying we're not going to let this game get too physical or out of control. So hopefully they let them play a little bit more than what they did right there. But watch for some touch fouls here early as the referees try to set the tone here.
That could definitely make a difference in this game as Boyertown comes out in a 2-3 now out of the inbounds pass. John, conspicuous by his absence is David Lay at the top of that 2-3 zone. Wonder if they're making some adjustments to that.
You know, possibly we have said that we like David Lay's length up top there. But really, as they've gotten into playing 2-3 just under their basket, perhaps they're putting him down there just to guard against any sort of block entry there. And they're just saying, all right, we're going to leave Christian and Eric up top, even though they don't have the size. We're just going to leave them up top there just because they're only going to play it one possession. And then I would think they're going back to man.
Well, we'll see if you're right. You certainly have a better record than I do this year as DeGuglielmo puts up a long three. That goes in and out. Springford back, wide open baseline. That's conversion for Lewis. 2-0. Springford leads. 6:48 left in the first quarter.
It's like the Bears setting up a play here. I'm just going to guess it's going to be for Trey. Or how about a wide open layup for Chris Kiefer? Nice execution there by the Bears, setting that screen and Chris Kiefer rolling off of it.
Chris Kiefer ties it up at 2 with 6:27 left in the first quarter. Looks like Boyertown is back in his zone, John. Matchup, no, take that back there in a man. Good job by Chris Kiefer forcing Lewis a little bit further underneath the basket. David Lay's three-pointer is no good. Trey DeGuglielmo's three-pointer is no good. Boyertown early 0 for 3 from three-point land, John.
So not surprised that Trey's taken 2 early threes there. It's important for him to have a good game here tonight. He really did not have a high-scoring game the other day, so I'm sure that was a point of talk for Coach Ludwig and his team, how we have to make sure that we get our scorers involved early so they're not stuck in a close battle late in the game. But you know how it is, Jim. This is going to be a close game. It's going to come down to who executes better and makes less mistakes.
And there is an early three-pointer for Springford from Gavin Schauter. That makes it 5-2 Rams, 5:37 in the first quarter. We understand that the clock and score is not showing up on the live feed on the NFHS network, so we will do our best to update you with those 2 items as frequently as possible. As Christian Reniger answers for Boyertown, puts down their first three-pointer. It is now tied up again at 5.
I think Chris Kiefer has got better as the season has gone on at catching at that elbow and turning to looking opposite for his teammates there. And if Springford allows Kiefer and the guys up top there to catch right there, the Bears should get open looks all day if they allow that man to make that pass to whatever wing or corner he wants.
Boyertown still in that man-to-man. Good defense by Salata. Rebound Kiefer. Boyertown able to come back, try to break this 5-5 lead. 4:44 left in the first quarter. Lay inside to Kiefer. Finds Guglielmo inside the three-point line. And he will convert for his first 2 of the game. 7-5 Bears. Braden Huntington checked into the game for Springford a few minutes ago. And Zach Zellers is coming to the score table now for the Rams. Boyertown still in that man-to-man, doing some high pressure. Good recovery from Kiefer and good help from Lay down on the low block. Springford having a hard time finding something open against this defense, John. Their pressure's playing pretty well so far. And just as I say that, they get a nice drive for Lay. My jinx worked against Boyertown that time.
That was a tough one. Now, there was no backside rotation there from Boyertown. It could have been Trey DeGuglielmo there, who just didn't quite rotate over. However, there was somebody else at the block there who just kind of missed it. And Springford is known to do that. They're known to break you down, wear you down, and then score on something like that when, as a defender, you've been mentally through it now for, 3-4 ball reversals. It's tough to keep up that thinking. And trying to react to everything once they wear you down like that. So good job by Springford with their offensive execution there.
Springford packing in that 2-3 zone. Salata unable to hit on the 13-footer. That goes underneath the Turner. Good defense from, I think that was Trey. Nice crossover by Salata. Unable to convert. He'll go to the line for 2. He is very disappointed with himself. That was a great move. Great layup, just could not get it to fall. Seven ball game, 2:55 left in the first quarter.
Salata is certainly fun to watch as he, weaves his way through the defense there. And even there, it seemed like in the air he changed direction almost, it seemed like, and he was able to get that shot off. And I didn't think there was really any chance of that happening. So Eric Salata obviously is going to be a huge part of this game because Springford at some point is going to trap. At some point they're going to pressure. That's just what Coach Talley has drilled into his teams for years. So can Eric Salata and the rest of the Boyertown ball handlers handle the Springford pressure whenever they decide to bring it?
Zellers into the game, like I said, for Springford, and Santiago back in. Boyertown brings in Ryan Schaefer, and maybe Coach Ludwig is a little upset with the 1-for-4 start from three-point line. He brings in Jake Kapp and Griffin Hummel. That toe's on the line, and it's long anyway. Rebound Springford. They're going to put up another 3. That one's good for Zach Scrocky.
Well, I'd be more upset if I was Coach Ludwig at the just lack of defensive communication that's happening right here. It just seems like when the Bears are getting back on defense, they're not communicating as to who has who, and you're not going to have your man all the time when you're back in transition defense. It's up to you as a team to figure out who has who, stop ball first, and then kind of fall into place, but the Bears just aren't doing that yet.
Salata, that's going to be well short. Springford's going to take over possession on that one. It's with a 10-8 lead. 2:17 left in the first quarter for the Rams. Be good for Boyertown to have a stop here. Lots of movement from Springford. Nice in and out game. Running jump shot from Scrocky is no good, and Boyertown will take a foul in the opposite direction.
Perfect chance for Coach Ludwig to call a play here. If Springford does stay in the zone, the play is probably going to be for a three-pointer, but I would love to see the Bears run something here where they're going to, set a good ball screen or set a good screen away from the ball to get something here on a set to see if they can get an open look here and try to get some momentum going here early.
Springford still packing in that 2-3 zone. Leaves Jake Kapp wide open. That's going to be short. Boyertown is definitely cold from deep tonight so far. Still only down by 2, 10-8, 1:30 left in the first quarter. I was going to say, that was either a foul or a walk, John.
I think they call the foul right before that little hop walk, but it'll be Springford ball, it looks like.
Schauder checks back in for Springford. It's always nice when you have these names for the other teams. We always struggle with pronunciation. It's, Schauder is just like chowder. So connecting that to food makes it that much easier, John.
And I'm sure that the Schauder family, if they are listening, just love the fact that we just compare their name to Chowder. I'm sure.
Well, all those other names that we read, John, there's really no connection to anything, and it's always very nice when you can tie it into something so common like a chowder. And hopefully we're even saying it correctly.
I would hope we are. And now I'm thinking of that chicken corn chowder from Wawa. Now you can be thinking about Wawa, Jim.
The chicken corn chowder from Wawa?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's good. I'm a fan. Jay Kapp long with his three-pointer. We got a tie up underneath the basket. I'm not sure how no whistle gets blown, but it doesn't. Salata inside to Schaefer, finds Trey. He will put that up, and that is also short. 38 seconds left. Springford still leading 10-8. Springford getting a little bit anxious. End up with a nice spin move, but there is Ryan Schaefer on the low block. Great defense from Schaefer. 10 seconds left in the quarter. See if Boyertown can tie or take the lead. They're down 2. Drive from Salata. Trey from deep. Also no good. And that'll end the first quarter. John, a few games ago I was laughed at for my inability to keep stats because I thought they shot really well from 3. I don't think you're going to argue with me with this stat that I have right now for you.
What's your stat, Jim?
I have Boyertown 1 for 9 from three-point land in the first quarter.
What percentage is that, Jim?
Under just over 10%.
Oh, okay. And the trouble here for Boyertown here is so much of their offense and so many of their players really are known for their outside shooting, for their three-point shooting, that if this continues, the Bears are going to be in a hole and they're going to be trying to dig themselves out of this hole in the second half. So if I'm Coach Ludwig right now, I'm trying to draw something up or just remind them that against this zone, if they can get that ball to that middle high post area, they could have options if they don't stand around the three-point line, if they try to crash to the basket and try to crack in on some of those Springford defenders down low. They're probably going to get whatever outside shots they want. And if I'm Coach Talley for Springford, I'm saying that right now. Listen, they're not hitting it. Let's make them prove that they can, take away their best shooter, Trey to Guglielmo, but otherwise let's see who's going to heat up for them. But can the Bears figure out a way to get hot here, get some layups, get some short jumpers in that lane? Griffin Hummel had a couple the other day against Springford as he caught in that high post area. But the Bears got to do something different here to try to get off this slide.
Boyertown has possession here to start the quarter. Down 2, 10-8. Here's Cap from the corner. Finally, one will fall for Boyertown. Jake Cap, great way to start. The second quarter puts Boyertown up 1, 11-10.
See, Jim, do something different. Stop taking threes, right?
Exactly. That's our game plan, John. Chowder's three is short, but we are going to have a foul underneath the basket. Looks like that's going to be on Roman Marinello, who checked into the game for Boyertown. John, you know it's a little-known great soup place in the Boyertown area? The Main Street Pub in Bally. And as I say that, Springford takes a 12-11 lead. 7:15 left in the half. Top of the key from Kiefer is short. That bounces out of bounds.
That high post is just going to be open. Obviously, Springford has coached their 2-3 zone to just allow that big man to catch the high post. Chris Kiefer shouldn't be afraid to take a dribble or two there and allow the defense to try to come up on him, and then maybe he can get that pass to David Lay, who's running baseline there. But I'd still, the key to beating the zone is getting that ball in the middle. But what can they do with it after they get the ball there?
There's Kiefer inside breaking up the play. And there goes Christian Reniger. Nice drive from Reniger to put Boyertown up 13-12. This is some of the back and forth we saw on Saturday. Rebound Kiefer over to Reniger. Jake Cap will take another three. That one will be long. Good hustle. Great hustle from Kiefer. Still fighting a couple seconds after the whistle blew, and I think he's getting called for a technical for that, John.
I believe he is. So I would bet that he said something, and it did look like the Springford player, who I believe was Braden Huntington, maybe there. It just looked like Huntington was maybe kind of trying to plead his case to the official there, and you're caught up in the moment, and maybe Chris Kiefer said something to Huntington as he was walking away, but the official, if that's what happened, good job for him to controlling the situation there. It did get a little chippy there, so if you're a referee, you're thinking, okay, I did my job, I kind of controlled the game here, but if you're Chris Kiefer, I'm sure he's going to go to the bench right now and say to himself, oh, why did I say something, if that's what happened, which I'm guessing it probably is. Most tees against players are because of the stuff that comes out of their mouths.
Zach Scrocky converts both of those from the technical, and Coach Ludwig got his explanation from the referee. He certainly didn't seem to argue too much from here, so.
I'm sure he didn't like it, though, whatever it was,
Oh, I'm sure he didn't like it, but... if the technical was for aggressive fighting for the ball in a jump ball situation, I think you would have seen a little bit more dramatics.
If it was for aggressive fighting for the ball, Coach Ludwig would have a tee himself right now, and maybe he gets one right here after this.
We got 6:08 left in the half, 14-13 Springford. Boyertown's going to get another foul. That's going to send the Rams to the line.
We joke here about the animated nature of our coaching staff, but this is just a testament as to how much they care and to how much they realize that this is a huge, big game for this team who's looking to make some sort of jump in the district standings as we near the end of the season. Always, Springford versus Boyertown is always a back and forth chippy battle, so I don't blame either coach and either group of players for getting a little chippy here out on the court today, for for maybe saying something to each other, for getting upset over little calls like that. This is a big game for both teams, like it should be, and you're going to see this the rest of the night.
Had a little bit of confusion at the official scorebook. Someone must not have been happy with what Skinny Moats is doing over there. Huntington misses the second of his two. Actually, I don't think that was Huntington. I think that was Lewis at the line. DeGuglielmo's left hand inside is no good, but he will be going to the line. John, there's some of that low block work that I've been saying all year I'd like to see a little bit more of, especially with the size that Boyertown has. And really, also when you're shooting 2 for 11 from three-point land.
Correct. And I know that Trey has worked on this throughout the years. I don't remember it being as much of a part of his game last year as it is this year, but this is a perfect way. We said during the break between quarters that the Bears needed to find something different. They didn't enter the ball inside to Trey DeGuglielmo once in the first quarter. This is a great way for them to get him some confidence, to get him some shots without anybody guarding him on the foul line. He has some real nice moves, left hand and right hand, little baby hooks he gets in the middle of that lane. So if I'm Boyertown, maybe not every time down the floor, but I'm looking for Trey down low to try to get something going for the offense.
Those 2 foul shots tied up at 15 with just over 5:30 left in the half. Nice drive from Springford. They'll jump out to a 17-15 lead. Lots of pressure here from Springford now, mixing it up a little bit. Skip pass over to Reniger. Great job by Christian Reniger. Better job by Trey DeGuglielmo to find him alone. Tied back up at 17, 5:10 left. He took about 7 steps underneath the basket, and they saw that. I don't think I've ever seen that many steps, John.
Oh, once I took about 9 or 10, but then when I got called for a travel, I did get in the referee's face to make it at least look like to the audience that I was not in the wrong, you know.
That was one of those plays where you hope you kind of dribble the ball and hope nobody saw it, but when the entire Boyertown team stops and yells travel, you kind of know that something's up.
Jim, I once honestly drove in the middle, jumped up in the air with the intention of passing. The person was guarded, and I just came down with the ball. It was the most embarrassing moment I've ever had on the court. I was much more suited just to stand and shoot the ball and not move.
I think we can come up with some more embarrassing moments than that, John.
You know what?
Eric Salata gets called for a walk. Springford will take over possession here. We have 4:42 left in the half, tied at 17. Boyertown 16 fouls, so Springford will be shooting 1-on-1 here on out. Boyertown a while away yet from going to the line in the bonus. Springford only has 3 team fouls. Long three-pointer from Springford. Santiago is no good. Schauder is going to get called for a foul on that rebound.
Good work by DeGuglielmo underneath there. Schauder was getting position on him. Schauder was doing a nice job trying to get around Trey, but he could have just let him go. Trey could have just given up on that, but he got his left arm, got his left leg, kind of got that just enough in front of Schauder where the referee had to call that for Schauder going through DeGuglielmo trying to get that rebound.
Here we are in the low block again. DeGuglielmo to lay. John, a 3-point opportunity from 2 feet away from the basket, as opposed to a 3-point opportunity 20 feet away from the basket.
We'll take it.
David Lay going to go to the line to shoot one more. 19-17, Boyertown lead, 4:11 left in the half. And there it is. Old school 3-pointer for David Lay. 3-point lead for Boyertown. They're back in their man-to-man set. Not too much pressure outside the 3-point line right now from the Bears. A little bit different from what we've seen. That's going to be a turnover. Boyertown ball. Schaefer and Lewis check back in the game for the Bears and Springford, respectively.
I mean, I'm just going to say there's probably not a lot of ball pressure out there because Springford's ball handlers are traditionally very solid. And if you pressure Springford, they make you pay. So I think the Bears are doing a nice job with what they're doing right now, packing in their man a little bit, still taking their chances when they can. But as long as they shore up the offensive rebound situation, you know, as long as they get defensive rebounds, they hopefully won't get into too much of trouble here because Springford just makes you pay whenever you make a mistake.
Great defense from DeGuglielmo on Schauder underneath. Does a better job of sealing him on that rebound, giving an opportunity for a Boyertown offensive set here. 3:20 left in the half. 3-point lead Bears. Got Schaefer in the high post underneath Calais. He's triple teamed. unable to find anybody. So DeGuglielmo will put up a long three. That's no good.
I liked what the Bears did there. I liked their movement, that little inside out. If I'm Trey, I don't have to force that shot. You're going to get a better shot if you just keep working the ball. And I hope Coach Ludwig and the staff is preaching that to them now and at halftime. They can move the ball against this zone. They have a nice little wheel rotation up top there where they're kind of interchanging on the wings and at the high post. If they keep on doing that to spread that 2-3 zone out, they're going to get their opportunities. They don't have to force 27-footers. With only 2 or 3 ball reversals into their offense.
2:54 left of the half. Boyertown still with a 3-point lead, 2017. Jake Kapp back in the game for the Bears. And just like that, a few minutes ago, John, it was 16 fouls to 3. Now we're even at 16 fouls. We'll be at the line for the rest of the fouls this half. 2:38 left. A little bit more patience from Boyertown here in this set. Inside to Cap by himself on the low block, unable to convert. Good defense from Schauder on that one. Springford back at the other end, Boyertown in their man-to-man. Schaefer bit for that. Schaefer bit on that fake from Schauder. He's able to take him to the foul line. Converts that, and he'll have a chance to tie it up with 2:04 left in the half.
And that's the right thing to do if you're Gavin Schauder. When that's why you ball fake and you get in that triple threat, because if you get your man off your feet in the moment right there, you drive. You drive because you know you have a step on your man, and Schauder did a nice job finishing there and getting to the line.
Yeah, I didn't think that touched the rim, so Boyertown will have it underneath the basket. No pressure from Springford here. They're set up in their 2-3 inside the three-point line. So Salada's not going to have any problem bringing it up to get this offense started. And there it is. John, I think they can do that all night long until Springford tells them no.
Springford has that 2-3 zone spread, and you have to play it that way with how many shooters Boyertown has on their roster. But since Springford is so spread there should be opportunities for Boyertown to get that high-low going. It's just a matter of not forcing it if it's not there right away.
And Springford will go to line, shoot 1-on-1. Trey DeGuglielmo tries to help out Salada, and unfortunately, if he were not directly in front of the referee, he may have gotten away with that one. But that little reach around a little bit right there at the end caught a little body, and that'll be a foul.
With 3 officials now, and I mean, it's been how many years now? 4, 5 years that we've had 3 officials for the PIAA. You do see more fouls like that get called. These were fouls that couldn't be seen a couple years ago when it was just 2 officials. So, I think there are more fouls like we saw really early in the game, that first little touch foul, fouls like that. But, that's why you have 3 officials, so the officials can make those calls and try to keep the game under control to their liking.
Scrocky makes 1 of 2. 1:28 left in the half. Boyertown with a 2-point lead, 22-20. Springford now in a man-to-man. So clearly they don't want to do the getting caught on that low block anymore, but Trey DeGuglielmo makes him pay on that one again, gets it low and gets fouled. Is he shooting 1-and-1 or 2?
It looks like 1-and-1. I think that was on the pass. They're going to call that.
Okay, yeah, they're signaling 1-and-1 now for Trey. He does make the first. 23-20 Boyertown.
It seems like whenever Springford goes man, Boyertown has an offensive set ready for Trey DeGuglielmo, because that is a perfect opportunity for him to go 1-on-1 with somebody down low on the block. So I would not be surprised if they said, listen, anytime you see Springford in man, Trey gets down to the block, get him the ball, and then let him work. And that's not a bad plan to get your best player the ball down where they want to score.
1:17 left. Boyertown now with a 4-point lead. They're still in their man-to-man. A little bit more pressure here. From Boyertown.
Good job by Christian Renninger there. Test, test.
Hello, hello, hello. We are back with about 4 minutes left in halftime here in Boyertown. We were thinking we had some technical difficulties there at the end of the half, but apparently you might be still hearing us and seeing us, so we are going to continue. A little bit of flurry from the Bears at the end of the half, John. We kind of caught our attention taken away because, of course, we were focused on our own voices and making sure that we were being the entertaining, fantastic play-by-play and color team that we are.
I do love the sound of my voice. I do love it.
Anyway, Bears were able to jump out. Key three-pointer from Christian Reniger late in the half gives them a 9-point lead, 29-20. As we head into the second half, Springford will have possession. Boyertown certainly not setting the world on fire from three-point land tonight, John, but still able to have a 9-point lead. That's got to be promising.
Very promising for them. So they were cold early. We said in the second quarter they had to get some other options available, and it seems like they found out that, hey, Trey can do his thing down low. They got him the ball a few times down there. He got to the line. There was a couple times in Springford's zone when the Bears caught Springford spread out so much that they got that high-low from the top of the key all the way down to the block there, which is really how you want to beat a 2-3 zone if you're not just going to fire up three-pointers. So the Bears are finding, cracks in this defense here, but here's the thing. This is still Springford. This is still a team that is coached by you see him down there at the corner. These guys know what they're doing. Chris Talley has had success pretty much everywhere where he's gone. They have some Pac-10 titles under their belt here. They're going to have something up their sleeve, whether it's that press that they threw at the Bears for that, which it was a miracle pass that the Bears got out of that trap to get a layup there. So is it going to be pressure that Springford throws at the Bears? Is it going to be a more aggressive defensive on the ball defense that they have going out there? Is it going to be a play or two or a set that the Bears have not seen yet? But Springford's going to hang in this game. It's going to be up to the Bears to withstand the pressure and try to extend this lead, or at least just hold on to this 9-point lead until the fourth quarter when you only have 8 minutes left.
John, it's interesting you mentioned the Springford coaches. I was looking at their roster that was sent up here. They have 5 assistant coaches listed. I only see 4 over there, but that's a lot of assistant coaches.
I don't see Coach Randy Reber over there, but Coach Reber, the very successful coach at St. Pius for years and years, has a bunch of PAC titles and district titles under his belt. There's Chris Talley, there's Matt Kurtz that I know over there, who were both, I believe, Springford star players in their time. So they really have a lot of knowledge over there. And now you look over at the Boyertown staff with their own guys who know what they're doing. Coach Ludwig now has done this, for like 30 years. Coach Ludwig has done this. And when we were coaching together, the girls and the boys, he is such a person who loves to learn the game and to just get as much knowledge as he possibly can. So there's a lot of different things that he knows when it comes to offense and defense. Coach Miller was a very good player here at Boyertown as well, averaged in the double digits, 15, 16 points his senior year. So he really knows what he's doing offensively. So lots of really great basketball minds in this gym right here for these two teams.
Not to mention the great basketball mind that is the Reverend John T. Kaleda. And also, another great basketball mind that you left out as we look under the Boyertown end basket, a veteran of the Emmaus coaching staff.
You're right.
Officer Rafe Perez.
Coach Perez, Officer Perez, he was on staff for those Emmaus teams that were going to the state tournaments, making deep runs. I believe that they had a pair of twins there that went, where'd they go? They went somewhere big, some big school in Texas, I think. So yeah, he knows his basketball there. I know he's always eager to get here and to watch some games as a security officer.
It's always fun talking to Rafe Perez. He, the school district police officer here for Boyertown, but at one time in his life, as we get another, let's not get another technical there, Chris Kiefer, tied up in another jump ball. Boyertown will have possession. Nice to see he learned his lesson, John.
That's good. I'm sure Coach Ludwig made sure that he learned his lesson there.
As I was saying, Rafe Perez in his previous life was an undercover cop, I believe, in Allentown, working the drug beat. So he's got a lot of great stories about that life. Reminds me of a TV show doing some of that work. Christian Reniger driving, great help underneath the basket, but that finds DeGuglielmo deep. That's no good. 29-20 Boyertown lead. They're going to try to go inside. That's no good. Back outside is no good. Scrocky tries to get a rebound. I think Salata wanted a foul over his back. I don't disagree with him.
Usually referees reward you if you do the right thing there, and I think Salata had good position there. I'm surprised that call wasn't made.
Salata leaves his feet against Grocki. This is going to go underneath the basket. That's going to be no good, and we're going to get a push, it looks like, on Alex Lewis. And Boyertown will get the ball back.
This is what Springford needs, though. I had to close the window up here, Jim. There's nobody in this gym, and yet I couldn't hear myself talk to you. Springford is bringing energy right now. They are loud on the bench. They're loud on the floor. Their bench is into it. They're pushing people around. That might have been a foul, but they're still trying to set their own tone right here. Boyertown needs an answer now.
Salata's going to try to drive. That gets knocked away by Turner. They're going to go the other way. One-on-one against Lay. And he's able to convert is Skrocki. First basket of the half. 29-22 Boyertown. 6:15 left. Very intense half of basketball so far. And there's that Springford defense pressuring. Great defense from Trey, but that's going to convert from Turner. They're not going to get a foul. I think it looked worse than it was, John.
It was still a heck of a shot, my gosh. And, I don't think I would have called a foul there either. Obviously, I'm biased, but Trey, I think, had okay position. He was in the air, so it could have gone either way, but he didn't force contact. He didn't go into Skrocki. It was just a heck of a layup there, heck of a finish.
Springford able to cut the lead to 5, 29-24, 5:33 left. Another turnover for Springford. David Lay on defense this time, unable to stop that one. More offensive rebounds for Boyertown, for the Rams. Schauder able to convert. Springford is pumped. Boyertown is going to try to collect themselves. Only up 3, 5:19 left.
So big, every basketball coach, if you've coached, you've had a timeout like this. The other team has kind of brought the energy. They've brought the game to you a little bit, and you've kind of backed off here. So Boyertown still is fine. They're okay. They're up by 3 here. And I know Coach Ludwig, the first thing out of his mouth was probably, listen, guys, we are okay. All right, take a deep breath. We're fine. What they need to do here is draw a play up so that they can execute and get a shot within the arc, in my opinion. Don't leave it up to your cold shooting here to magically come back to you right here. Draw something up against this 2-3 zone so that you can get Trey DeGuglielmo sealing somebody inside. Maybe there's some sort of a double screen set, and Trey's able to come off of the wing and get down on that guy down low, and they can go high-low again. But something needs to happen here where the Bears can execute, they can feel good about it, and they can say, all right, we had about 3 minutes there of some bad basketball, but we're back. Watch us execute from here on out.
Almost 3 minutes into this quarter, and Boyertown has yet to score. Still has that 3-point lead. Springford staying in that man-to-man defense. Salata had to give it up. Lucky he did. He was getting a count over there in front of the bench. Drive from Salata, kick out to Lay. That is an opportune three-pointer for David Lay.
So every time I say to not shoot it, we're just gonna let them shoot it then, because that seems to be the key for them there. Big hit by David Lay.
Floating jump shot for Springford doesn't go. Reniger is going to come back the other way. From the same exact spot, David Lay does the same exact thing. 2 baskets for Boyertown this half, both three-pointers from David Lay in the left corner, and Boyertown jumps to a 9-point lead, 35-26. One thing you can say about COVID, John, is traditionally every player needs to be sitting down on the bench. Every Springford player on the bench right now is up on their feet. As David Lay drives into the lane, that's going to knock out of bounds. Boyertown possession under the basket.
I like it. Stand up. Let's get some more energy in here. This is a fun game. Stand up and go.
And the way that this has gone, it's really the intensity of this half so far. We're about halfway through the quarter. 3:56 left in the third. The fact that Boyertown still has a 9-point lead. Great pass from DeGuglielmo into Kiefer. Gets knocked out of bounds off of Kiefer. It'll be Springford ball.
Nice recovery there by Springford. If I was Chris Kiefer, I would have kept the ball right there. I didn't think they had any chance of getting to him, so good job by Springford recovering there. That had been a huge basket to go up by double digits here in this game.
Good help on DeGuglielmo not to get called for a foul on that body. And good recovery from Boyertown. There's a drive by the Rams. That's no good. Here come the Bears. That's going to be offensive against Reniger. Might have been close, John. I think he was a little bit out of control. Probably put it in the offensive direction.
Yeah, if you do that there, if you're that whirling dervish going in there, that's an easy call for the official there. Had he jump stopped and pivoted, maybe the official doesn't make the call on the player that falls over. Key here for Boyertown is to get this lead past 9. You know how it is. You're in a game like this. The other team feels like if they can keep it at a certain number and it doesn't get over that, they got a chance. But if that team that's winning can extend that lead a little bit, you start to gain more of the advantage, more of the momentum. If Boyertown can get into double digits, I think that's key right here. If they get into double digits, Springford might start to worry a little bit that they're running out of time here. But if they keep it within single digits, Springford is going to be within striking distance.
Boyertown's going to pack in a 2-3 on this out-of-bounds play under their own basket. Into the corner. Turner unable to convert, but does there on a second chance. Cuts it to 7, 35-28. Just under 3 minutes left in the quarter. Inside to Schaefer, big body. What a move by Ryan Schaefer. To me, that is pretty basketball.
He just got that elbow right around his guy right there and totally spun around him. Great move by Ryan Schaefer.
And for some reason, Cole Turner able to stay on his feet and put that one up. David Lay with the fake in the corner, drive, not able to convert. 7-point lead now for Boyertown. Springford's going to try to cut into that again. Santiago unable to do it. John, you think Boyertown would do good like they're doing here to take a little bit of patience here on the offensive end? It looks like they're trying to slow up this pace a little bit.
The pace definitely benefits Springford right here. They're the ones that are bringing the energy right now. Boyertown's countered it a little bit, but Boyertown needs to have a good possession here, needs to get the ball to work it around. Fouls like that are going to be big. I think there could have been about 4 or 5 of those fouls called so far in these first 6 minutes of the third quarter. So can the Bears do things correctly, put themselves in the right position, have Springford players sealed behind them, box out the correct way? Can they force Springford into some cheap fouls and get into the bonus? If they get into the bonus here early in the fourth, that could be huge.
Zellers tried to push Schaefer off of the block, gets called for a foul, and Schauder quickly back into the game for Springford. Again, a little bit more patience here from Boyertown. I don't think you want Ryan Schaefer running the point. And he's able to find Salata. Springford bench is yelling for an over and back, but if he went over and back, it's because of the body.
Salata most certainly
from Cole Turner.
Certainly stepped on the line there, but again, that was I think
because
that
of the
was,
body from Turner.
Yeah, correct. So I think that from the referee was listen, I'm going to let that go because I could call a foul on you, but just too much contact there for Salata to not call that down by the basket.
Salata misses the front end of his 2 shots. 37-30, 125 left in the quarter. Boyertown now with an 8-point lead, 38-30. Lots of help on the Boyertown's defensive end in this man-to-man. Doing a nice job of some of those rotations. Here's Scrocky, well short. Now he puts up a three. Able to convert that one is Zach Scrocky. Big three-pointer for Springford. Cuts it to 5 points. Under a minute left in the third quarter.
Boyertown's going to try to hold for a shot here, and if they stay there in that defense, that's fine.
Hummel finds Cap all alone, able to convert. Good ball movement from Boyertown. Pushes the lead to 7, 30 seconds left.
I like the call from Coach Talley, though. You have the momentum. Get some more momentum, possibly. Put Boyertown into a little bit more of a hole. I like that call. Boyertown, nice job finding the open man, making themselves available, and getting that layup.
Where are you going to go? Looks like we're going to go into the fourth quarter with either a 7-point lead or a 5-point lead. And it looks like it's going to be 7 unless Boyertown can make it 9. Little bit of a aggressive play from Boyertown there. Too aggressive almost. Springford will have 1 second to put something up in desperation. And here it comes from Scrocky, and that's going to be short. John, this seems like a much closer 7-point game that I've experienced in a long time, but it's exciting, it's entertaining. Boyertown's holding a 40-33 lead entering the fourth quarter.
We knew that it was not going to be a blowout here. You had the feeling, even when Boyertown was up by 9, that it was going to stay in this realm. I'm very impressed with the energy that Springford brought out. Their JV team is like the Cameron crazies right now. I can barely hear myself think, but I'm maybe even more impressed with the way Boyertown handled themselves in that third quarter. Springford went on a couple of runs there, and each time Boyertown answered them. David Lay with 2 humongous three-pointers there in the corner to give them some breathing room. This quarter is going to come down to who can knock down some shots early within these first 2-3 minutes here, because if Boyertown can hold on to this 7-point advantage or even get it to that 10 mark, like we said, they should be okay going forward. But Jim, if we look at this game and it's 4 minutes left and Springford's within 4 or 5, it is going to be knock down, drag out the rest of this way, because Springford is going to bring the pressure and Boyertown's going to have to handle it.
All right, let's reset for everyone. We're entering the fourth quarter. There's 8 minutes on the clock. Boyertown's got a 7-point lead, 40-33. Mr. Joe McClellan not happy with something, so he runs the buzzer. Skinny gives a thumbs up. Oh, that's the confusion. Springford basketball. Springford basketball.
Yeah,
that was the confusion.
Who knows if that's going to benefit you or not? Who knows? But looks like the referees are going to go just make sure right now.
Well, I think you'd certainly want the ball.
Yeah, but then again, a
John,
stop right here and a three-pointer, now all of a sudden it looks good. You never know.
But John, not taking the ball is like that coach for the Lions a few Thanksgivings ago, going into overtime. Instead of receiving the ball, he kicks off because he's afraid of the wind. You take the ball in overtime.
I was probably asleep on Thanksgiving Day by that point, Jim. Sorry.
It was a while ago, but still. About even on the team fouls. Boyertown with 2, Springford with 3. Aggressive nature of this game, I expect that to get up there pretty soon. Scrocky able to put up the first points of the quarter. 5-point lead for Boyertown. Pressure man-to-man from Springford now. Letting Boyertown have it outside that 3-point line.
DeGuglielmo is off the floor right now for the Bears. If I'm Coach Ludwig, I'm happy if we take some time off the clock here. A bucket would be good, but let's take some time off the clock and make sure we shorten this game up a little bit.
Somehow, some way, Christian Renninger ended up with that rebound. Great job by Renninger. Perfectly timed jump. Still 7 points. DeGuglielmo's at the scores table to come back in. David Lay gets his hand in there. Great defense from Boyertown. They'll go the other way. And Coach Ludwig is going to call a 30-second timeout.
Very good decision there by Coach Ludwig. Get Trey back on the floor. Talk to your guys. Time and situation here. You're up by 7. You've got, I'd say, about 4 minutes of game time until, if you're down, you have to start looking at fouling and looking at trapping very hard here. So the Bears right now are not looking to, take time. I know I said take time off the clock there when Trey was off the floor, but now with Trey on the floor, you're not looking to, burn time and just run clock. You're looking to run good offense. You're looking to execute. You're looking to give yourself some breathing room here if you can make some baskets. I'm still not jacking up threes, though, if I'm Boyertown. If it's wide open after 3 or 4 ball reversals, fine, but I'm still looking to get it inside. I would love to see Chris Kiefer set some screens for Trey to get him on that block. It doesn't seem like it's part of their offense. It seems like they just kind of have, their big guys set up down low there and just battle. But I would love to see some interior screen set to see if we can't get something a bit more open for Kiefer and DeGuglielmo down low.
Here's my analysis, John.
Go for it.
If I'm Springford, I've got 3 team fouls, 6:30 left, I'm down 7. I'm playing some aggressive defense here. I'm going for some steals. If we get a foul, big deal. It's not a shooting foul. Work those team fouls up a little bit, so if you do need to put them in the line late in the game, you have the capability to do that, and you're going to try to force some turnovers at the same time. And we're going to get an offensive foul on Eric Salata. I think Coach Ludwig is about as confused at that call as I am.
And I was just about to say, the way this game's been called, they've been allowing a lot of contact there. However, made the call there, and that's a tough one because that was a 3-pointer from Boyertown. That'd put them up 10.
We'll see what Springford can do here. Down 7. That goes inside to Santiago. David Lay has really had himself a quietly nice game here, John. He had those two key 3-pointers. Only 3 other points other than those 3-pointers, but he's really showing up defensively. He's
had a quietly, nice 3 or 4 games here. As the Bears have made that switch to man-to-man, I've been most impressed with David Lay. What a job he did there to contest the shot, and then as the shot is in the air, gets himself in position to make that rebound. And because he was in good position, like we said earlier, they have to make that call if they go right through you. Great job there by David Lay.
I'm a fan of his hair too, John. It's real easy to see on the court. Other than I know you're going to say, the big frame, he's tall and he's long. But I'm a fan of the hair. I'm a fan of the headband look. Nice little move there by Jake Cressley. His first 2 points of the game are big for Springford. That cuts it to a 5-point lead for Boyertown. And there's Lay all alone. And he's going to do another old-time 3-point play if he can convert here.
What the Bears have to be careful of here is they can't leave the ball handler there. I was just about ready to say don't leave the ball handler. However, what Springford's doing is they're really overreacting, I should say, to those passing lanes. They're really going after them. They're being overly aggressive, maybe is the word I'm looking for here. So because of that, somebody's got to be open. It just happens to be, and Springford's well coached. The person that should be open should be the one that's farthest away from the trap. It just so happens that David Lay found that open area there. So the Bears, if they're going to get trapped, they need to make sure that Coach Miller and Coach Ludwig are telling them where to go, what positions to be there. Do not leave the ball handler. Do not just stand. You got to cut, find that open area if nobody's around you.
David Lay able to convert that 3-point play. 8-point lead now for Boyertown. Interesting move here from Springford, John. Tight game, late in the game. Freshman E.J. Campbell checks into the game for the Rams. And where he's camped out, he could potentially be a 3-point threat. Nice spin move from Cole Turner. And the Rams are going to call timeout.
This is, wow, you're right. He's cold.
Wait. What did you say?
Oh, I said you're bright. There's a light.
Oh,
It's
okay.
just flickering. It's kind of bright over there.
Okay.
He's cold. He hasn't shot all game, but I guess your assessment would be correct there, Jim. Yes, he's probably a 3-point shooter. If I'm Coach Talley, I'm not worried about that. Though we have 5 minutes left in this game, and you're doing a great job driving to the basket. Boyertown is I think holding their own when it comes to just challenging their shots. But Springford's getting to the basket. Springford's getting their looks. I don't know if I'm putting in my 3-point shooters quite yet if I'm Springford, but if this kid hits a couple, then he looks like a genius.
And you look like an idiot.
Well, that's we can talk about Wawa and Argentos all night long. I look like an idiot, Jim. That's.
So we're looking at a 39-45 ball game here. Boyertown with a lead, 6 points, 4:58 left to go in the game. 5 team fouls for Springford, 3 for Boyertown. Plenty of timeouts still to be taken. 4 for Springford, 3 for Boyertown. And Boyertown has the possession arrow. Here's our first look at some full court pressure from the Rams. Christian Reniger easily able to break it to David Lay. That was too easy, John.
We'll take that, though. Great job by the Bears to find David Lay. Great job by David Lay not taking that extra dribble.
Springford working it around to the outside. That three-pointer is no good. Scrocky's going to go just inside the three-point line. There's our freshman, and he's going to get an opportunity to score from the line as E.J. Campbell finds himself at the right place at the right time underneath the basket on the weak side board. He'll be shooting 2. John, I have no idea. I've seen one Springford game. What's going through you? How fast do you think his heart's beating right now? 7-point game at the line, shooting 2.
You know, this might not be his first time in this sort of situation for the Rams there, but certainly, I mean, right now making plays like that makes the heartbeat a little less fast. I'll tell you that much.
And able to get it to Scrocky for a 3-pointer for the Rams. That cuts it to only a 4-point lead now for Boyertown. Big swing for Springford. And here goes Boyertown. Nice little touch pass from Eric Salata to trade to Guglielmo. 6-point lead, 4 minutes left in the game.
Boyertown's found the recipe there to break this press. You make that pass right back to where it came from early on, and then you get to that basket because he's open right underneath.
And there's Salata able to take it from Scrocky. He's going to find Hummel, and he converts Griffin Hummel. Great job keeping control in the air. And he's going to get an opportunity for a 3-point play. His first 2 points of the game for Griffin Hummel makes it an 8-point lead for Boyertown, possibility of 9. A little long for Griffin Hummel. Boyertown able to keep that possession. There's a foul from Alex Lewis, and that will start setting Boyertown for their 1-and-1s.
So we said about the 4-minute mark here, which we are about there, 3 minutes and 38 seconds. We have Boyertown up by 8 and Springford in the bonus. This is the position you want to be in. Now, Springford has shown that they have a knack for just making big shots and making big plays, but this is, I mean, you can't ask for a better position here than what Boyertown is in. Can they stay strong down the stretch, handle Springford's pressure like they have been, and keep getting those layups and knocking down foul shots?
Reniger makes the first. This could make it a 10-point ball game, and he does. There's that double-digit lead Boyertown was looking for, John. 3:37 left in the game. Still high pressure from Boyertown in this man-to-man. Great job defensively from Boyertown. The referees aren't sure which way to go. They point in Boyertown's direction. That's the kind of defensive set you were hoping for there, John. After jumping out to that 10-point lead, you didn't want to give Springford an opportunity to do anything.
I'm impressed that Boyertown did not back away there. That was a great. I think that was a great decision to keep the pressure up there, even though they just went up by 10.
Springford able to get it back. Foul on the play as Cole Turner slow to get up for the Rams. That's 5 team fouls now for the Bears. Springford still a couple away from going to the line. Still a 10-point game. 3 minutes left.
So Coach Ludwig has to make a decision here. I think Salata, DeGuglielmo, Renninger, and Lay are definites for you on the floor right now. But Hummel was out there on the floor. I'm betting he brought Kiefer back on to figure that he's going to be able to get some rebounds for him. But you saw Kiefer kind of get hung up with the ball there. Does he bring Griffin Hummel back on this floor to give himself one more ball handler and one more foul shooter in the case that Springford starts fouling?
Under 3 left. And there's David Lay. That's about the 3rd or 4th time tonight, John. High pressure from Springford, well beyond the 3-point line, leaving a Boyertown player all alone under the basket. David Lay able to convert.
What I think is happening, you have the Springford players on the backside just kind of worrying about their man and not gapping between two. You saw the Springford defender on the block right there, just worried about his man. He's got to know that as soon as that trap is set, you are no longer a man-to-man. You are gapping between the players that are in your area. And if he would have gapped a bit there, he might have been able to steal that pass. But here we are, Boyertown with a 12-point lead, looking good.
Under 2 minutes now left in the game. Boyertown with a 12-point lead. Long three-pointer is also long. Scrocky converts. It's exactly what Springford needed with 1 minute and 47 seconds left in this game. Cuts into the Boyertown lead, which is 9. I'm going to go out on a limb, John.
Go for it.
Might be too little too late.
Oh, man. I know the Jim.
You're worried that I just jinxed it, don't you?
I know the Jim jinx is real, which is why I'm sighing here. So I'm not even going to mention that. What I am going to mention is that I bet Griffin Hummel is back on the floor right here to give them some ball handling help with Kiefer and Hummel maybe coming back on, defense, offense here. Springford's going to bring the pressure. Boyertown's got to handle it. They are probably, I would think, just telling them right now, listen, you figured out how to beat their press. Keep on planting somebody right there on that opposite block and finding him. But if Springford gets a steal here and a bucket, all of a sudden it becomes interesting. But I would like to think, Jim, that we're at a point where it's not going to matter, but you never know.
We'll see how that goes. John, how was Moyer's Catering for Dad's birthday party?
Oh, you know what? The best part about Moyer's Catering is you put the chicken on the plate, you get the macaroni salad and the potato salad and the beans, and then all that juice just kind of like mixes together, and then you have like the taste of the macaroni salad and the beans on the chicken. Whew, it's good stuff.
That's big. Full court pressure from Springford. DeGuglielmo alone. Unable to convert. Here come the Rams. They're also unable to convert. Renninger has it back, and he's going to get fouled. 9-point lead for the Bears is going to send Christian Renninger to the line, shooting 1-1. John, we go to my father-in-law's every Sunday for dinner.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's always a discussion about what we're going to have for dinner. He grilled steaks this Sunday. Nice porterhouse. Oh. John, it was great. That's all. There's not a lot to say about it.
We're gonna have a talk with Christian Renninger.
Grilled steak.
We're gonna have a talk with Renninger after the game. He has to make those foul shots to give us a chance to talk about food.
And here's Springford. Almost had Chris Kiefer in another jump ball fight underneath the basket. We got just over a minute left. Boyertown still has a 9-point lead. It's probably chuck it time for the Rams at this point in time, John. And they are going to do that. But it's long. And DeGuglielmo has the rebound. And he's going to look around. He finds Renninger. who finds Lay, who finds the bottom of the net. John, can I safely say that this might be over?
That might have done it right there, yes.
There we go. 43 seconds left. Boyertown's got an 11-point lead. Doesn't look like Springford's going to foul. John, they used to say warm up the bus. We can say, is your wife getting a pepperoni roll from Argento's tonight?
The real question is, did she already get the pepperoni bowlie from Argento's? The answer is yes to that.
Big win for Boyertown tonight. Season sweep against the Rams. They seem to be coming on strong just at the right time. A lot of games coming up over the next few days. So they have to feel good about themselves after tonight's win.
I don't know when the last time is that Boyertown would have swept Springford in the boys basketball season. I mean, has it happened in the last 10 or 15 years? I'm gonna say probably no. So just the fact, and I know Springford's, you look at their record and it's not looking as sparkling as it did a couple of years ago when they were the PAC champs. But I mean, still, this is a solid team. It's a well-coached team. It's a team that did not go away after being down 9 points. That's a team that came out and gave you everything they had defensively and made you turn the ball over. They put you in tough positions, that you did not want to be in, taking those long three-pointers and missing and not being able to get yourself in position for an offensive rebound. And Boyertown just kept answering. They kept answering. They kept doing what they've been coached to do this year, which is run that man-to-man defense. Now, the past 4 or 5 games, they've been taught to just get up on people, play a little bit, prove you're better than them. They did that tonight by just challenging at the rim. They challenged Springford well at the rim and did not allow them to finish. And then offensively, they did not just keep throwing it up there like they did against Methacton that night, Jim, when they shot 35 three-pointers and made 7 of them. They found a new way to attack offensively by looking inside, by getting the ball to the Guglielmo inside, and then when Springford started to trap, I think give the game ball to the Boyertown press break tonight, because everything they did against Springford's pressure worked, and it allowed them to separate a little bit from a very plucky Rams team.
John, I'm going to have you guess who the Boyertown leading scorer was tonight.
Christian Renninger?
Close. Christian Renninger got 16. David Lay put up 18 tonight.
David Lay, like I said, I've been most impressed with him defensively and the work that he has done. And you would look at him and say, well, he's a big, gangly kid. He probably can't play D. Kid plays D. Kid plays hard. Kid has good positioning is what I think I like most about him. You don't have to be quick to play defense, but you have to know angles. You have to know where to be. You have to know that all you got to do is beat your man to a spot and then just challenge him. That's what David Lay does. And those 2 3-pointers, fine. Maybe you give David Lay the game ball, because those 2 3-pointers he hit in that third quarter, I believe, when Springford made that run, that was absolutely huge for the Bears. He doesn't make that. We're maybe going into a fifth period here where we're having a different conversation.
Yeah, he had 18 points on the night, 9 in the fourth quarter for David Lay, and far and away leading scorer for Springford, Zach Scrocky. He had 4 3-pointers. And I think, John, looking at this game, Boyertown able to come out and have an 11-point victory. I stopped keeping track of their 3-point percentages, so it can't be 100% accurate. They were low 30s from 3-point land. So I think overall in the game, they might be lucky if they were at the high 20s. So shooting poorly from 3-point land, still able to come out to 11-point victory was key. And I forgot to mention the parsley potatoes that we had with the grilled steak.
Talk about the parsley potatoes,
John. They
please.
were awesome. Something as simple as a parsley potato. You don't get them very often. And they were good.
My wife cooked a turkey breast in the air fryer. Do you have an air fryer, Jim?
Yeah, we do have an air fryer, John.
Oh, that thing is money.
Yes, it is. It's a very, very solid investment.
She put a turkey breast in there, smothered it with pure Irish cream butter, and put some rosemary and thyme on that thing. I don't even know what rosemary and thyme.
No, you're right.
Thyme.
Yeah.
whatever it is, it was awesome. But I think it was mostly the butter that was on there.
Yeah, the air fryer is clutch, but that, I tell you what, we have great dinners on Sunday nights, but there's really it's really hard to beat a really, really perfectly grilled steak. It's tough to beat, John.
I have a confession to make. I love grilling.
If you're going to tell me you don't like steak, I don't even want to hear it. Don't even open your mouth. Change the subject to pizza.
What I'm not going to tell you is about the show on Netflix that I'm watching, which you can make fun of me for. What I am going to tell you is that I do have a meat thermometer that I use for my steaks, because I guess I'm not a true griller where I can just tell what it is. So I'm very.
There's nothing wrong with
nothing
that.
wrong with that.
No,
okay, I didn't want you to think less of me.
No, I'd rather have somebody use a meat thermometer than grossly overcook a steak.
There you go.
There's nothing wrong with that. John, I almost made it through a whole game without mentioning Firefly Lane, and you had to bring it up.
Did I watch Gossip Girl with my wife? Yes. Did I watch Bridgerton, that brand new show with my wife? Yes. Did I watch? And I'm fine with it. Does my wife watch Indiana Jones when I want to? No. So, I guess I don't win at all. But
It's quite all right.
Yeah.
Well, John, I think the game ended like 5 minutes ago, and we're sitting here talking about steaks and Firefly Lane.
The real question is anybody still tuning in? Do you think people even listen to
I have no idea.
I don't know.
If you have either one of our numbers, and you're actually still listening to us kibitz here about steak and Firefly Lane, please text us, because I would love to know.
I'm pretty certain that all the poor parents who have to listen to us, as soon as the game is over, turn us off,
shut it off.
and just say, unholy things about having to listen to us for a good solid hour and a half.
But apparently, John, we found out the Springford coach is a fan.
You know what? How did we go without mentioning this? We can stay on and talk about this. Coach Talley, who is a very, very good guy, did say to Coach Ludwig, "Hey, was watching some of your games scouting and really enjoy listening to Jim and John up there." So I did go down tonight to talk to him. He says he's amazed that I'm a sushi man after our sushi conversation. And
Okay.
unless we get some texts from people other than Coach T.J. Miller and Coach Bauman and Coach Rico Houck, Coach Talley of Springford might be in our super fan list. Super fan from Springford.
Well, we do have someone still listening, John.
Oh, is it your wife?
It's my wife. Holding my son Max, probably. Listening to the sultry sounds of my voice.
Yes, saying, "Can you please just come home, Jim, and take the kid from me, please?"
Yeah, and we're looking down here at Coach Ludwig while Nick Palladino does the COVID spraying of the benches. I bet Mike Ludwig right now is thinking, what are they still doing up there talking about?
I bet they don't even think we're on the air. They don't realize that we still have not turned this off yet.
Well, I think that we're going to have to come up with a decision about some more conversations, because we've got a lot of games this week, John.
We do.
We're back here tomorrow. We're back here Thursday. We're back here Friday. We're back here Saturday.
The girls have some big games this week. Upper Marion and Methacton. They are still fighting. Talking to Coach Bieber, they are still fighting for a district berth, even after a couple of nail biting losses that they've had. So a couple of games this week. A couple might be winnable. The boys have a big revenge game on Friday against PV, and the girls take on PJP on Saturday at 1:15. Varsity start 1:15. So lots of action here on the NFHS network.
Well, Coach Ludwig's putting on his jacket, so maybe it's time for us to go.
I don't know. Let's make a goal going out here the rest of the way that our goal is to stay here longer than the actual people who matter. One of these days.
Also, we could set a goal for ourselves that at some point in time, we do have to get a guest up in the booth.
Yeah, we do.
And I'm thinking next girls' game, I wouldn't be adverse to having Coach Todd Moyer up here. Get his thoughts on something. We might need a 7-second delay button.
Let me. I think I may or may not have a connection to Coach Todd Moyer. Why don't I give him a buzz?
All right, we will see you back here tomorrow night, Thursday night, Friday night, and Saturday night on the NFHS Network.